This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But if
folks?
rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get like the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions. And I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 115. I'm Brian.
I am Spencer.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Find us at the Our Take Pod on TikTok, or just go to theourtakepodcast.com. You can find all our links there. Tell your friends.
Yeah, we have not come anywhere close to our 3 million.
Yeah, we haven't gone viral again yet. We will.
So, yeah, we gotta...
With a clip from this very show.
Well, are we talking about bathroom experiences in this episode? Because that seems to be our niche.
It's A10s, bathroom experiences, and cops. Those are the three. If we
That's
can
right.
combine those somehow, like an
Cops in the-
A10
cops
killed
in
a
the
cop in a bathroom. Oh,
We'll
man.
figure it out.
It is July the 26th, everybody, on this day in history. That was cool, right?
What?
It just lined up with the music.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, July 26th. On this day in history, SYNCOM 2, that's SYNCOM, the world's first geosynchronous communications satellite is launched in 1963.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Geosynchronous meaning that its orbital period around the Earth matches the Earth's rotation. Geosynchronous.
So it's going like 17 billion miles per hour?
Depends
or
on how far out it is. but
however
yes.
fast it is. Isn't
Yeah.
it 17,000 or something?
Well, it depends on how big the orbit is.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people don't know this. Maybe I've said it before. I
Uh-huh.
used to work for AT&T DirecTV.
Mm-hmm.
Space stations like 250 miles up,
Mhm.
right? The DirecTV satellites are geosynchronous.
Mm-hmm.
Your satellite on your house is always pointed the same way, right?
Right.
Meaning it's a geosynchronous satellite. They are 27,000 miles away.
Oh, really?
Isn't that crazy?
I didn't
That's the
think
difference
that
in
anything
orbit.
was that far away.
Yeah.
Wait, 27,000? How far away is the moon?
250,000.
Oh,
A little bit less. Yeah. Crazy, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was... Well, this is a good enough time as any to congratulate Jeff Bezos and Virgin douchebag.
Yes. Although the FAA...
No, I know. I gotta say that if you watched any of it, and I watched some of it, just
I mean,
I was a little annoyed because all the news stations were like, "We're stepping. This is a moment in history here." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, not really, but I mean, cool.
I mean, it's space flight. It's cool. Although it was more like a parabola.
Barely.
Yeah,
It's barely space flight. That's what really annoys me. Is Elon Musk has gone, or not gone, but he's made
Sent.
stuff that has gone to the space station.
right. Orbited.
Yeah.
He has
These guys
Starlink satellite.
basically took a really high airplane ride.
Right. It's the same thing that,
Like
what's the first American? Al Shepard.
John
John Glenn was the first to orbit.
Okay.
Al Shepard was the first in space. It's just a giant parabola.
Yeah. I mean,
You're up, you're weightless for a few minutes, you come back down.
I'm glad the FAA changed their
If you don't know what we're
So
talking
they're not
about,
astronauts.
yeah, the FAA changed the definition of an astronaut, so Branson and Bezos don't actually qualify as astronauts.
But I don't like you have to. I think that it should be a certain amount of a certain height.
I haven't seen the actual definition. What
The
is it?
height, they surpass the height. So all you got to do is go to like I think 52,000 feet or something, and that makes you an astronaut. But you have to have been a member of the crew or done something scientific or
You can't be a passenger?
right.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And since Bezos or Branson were none of them were part of the crew, technically.
I'm okay with that definition. I don't care about the height. but
I do.
Well, the 50...
The Blackbird went on pretty much that high. I just...
here's what I'm trying to figure out. Because there might be a point at which, once you're high enough, depending on your trajectory, you are then in orbit. right?
Right.
So is that why they made it that high? Because you're in orbit? Technically, like you could stay in
guess.
orbit, you'd have to reverse thrust to get out.
Right.
I don't know. I
Look,
can't remember
the Blackbird,
like the SR-71.
yeah, it went 85,000 feet.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Well, how high did they go?
I thought it was only 66.
How high did Bezos go?
Maybe it was,
He went to 351,000 feet.
Oh.
So maybe it's 500,000 feet?
I don't know.
FAA definition of astronaut. Let's see.
No, the feet is fine. They beat the feet.
But they're not part of the crew.
Right.
Gotcha. Oh, 62 miles, so whatever that is.
Oh, that's what, I was 62. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 62 miles you have to get to. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Apollo
I know you have.
space
I
books
know.
lately.
I know.
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Yeah, and they talk about that like, Al Shepard had the altitude record, and then
Mm-hmm.
John Glenn, and then when they started doing Gemini missions, it was even higher. And then when they went to the moon, they're like, no one can beat us now.
Right.
That's the altitude record is 250,000 miles. Like,
I
so-
just have a hard time with these people saying they're astronauts. I mean, they're not, but they thought they were, know. When they're just tourists, when it brings a bad name to the name
well,
astronaut.
According to Google, an astronaut is a person who is trained to travel in a spacecraft.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So, I mean, if the FAA decides to let them be called astronauts, then we need to call the people on the space station like super astronauts or
Right.
something.
Yeah, well,
Astronauts plus.
let's just co-opt the Russians and call them cosmonauts.
Yeah,
you
there
know?
we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, were they actually trying to be called astronauts though?
I thought so.
All right.
They wanted to, because you get wings from the FAA
Ah,
that say you're an astronaut.
if you go up that high,
I
you
guess,
just-
yeah.
you-
That's why the
you
FAA
get wings.
changed it, because they're like, oh, fuck you guys.
get wings
You didn't
mailed to
do
you."
anything. I'm not going to pin wings on
You
you.
paid for it. I mean, it was interesting to see, like it's space travel, which is cool. So
I-
it was cool to see Branson's method of the little winged creature,
Yeah.
and then to
I
see,
like Branson's method better.
and it's probably more efficient.
It's
right?
probably more, but it's probably a better trip. Like, if you're actually going to pay to do
Sure.
it, I would go that way.
You're-
I guess
you're in
if
a-
you want a more authentic experience.
and like an authentic astronaut experience.
Yeah.
You can get on a rocket.
That
But-
looks exactly like a dick.
Yeah,
Oh, my gosh. Some
But
of
if
the
it-
comments on that.
but I don't know enough about Blue Origin?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're salvaging their booster.
I think so. I think they
So-
land.
And that's the thing about Branson is there's no waste. There's no
Yeah.
possibility of something being
Well,
damaged beyond repair.
they could turn around and
Now they don't have enough. I don't know if they can have enough fuel on board to get into orbit,
no, they don't.
so they'd have to throw a booster
Well,
on.
you saw how it worked, right? How it like flips over, the wings all flip around.
yeah,
and
no,
then
yeah.
it's crazy.
It's a crazy. It
I,
has that
I
much-
like Branson's better than Bezos's.
I mean, he could throw a booster on there and get into orbit.
Well, also Bezos is a complete dick, and
Here's the problem I have with all of this,
yeah,
and I had this problem with the Mars landing recently as well.
uh-huh.
Is the lack of synergy, that no one's working together.
Mhm.
So, for
Everyone's
example,
working
separately.
against each other,
Right.
Like a competition almost,
For example, the
Hmm.
rover we just sent to Mars
right?
is collecting samples in tubes.
Right.
To get those back, we have to send one spacecraft with enough fuel to be in orbit and to leave orbit
Mm-hmm.
of Mars.
Right.
We then have to send another spacecraft that has enough fuel to land, pick up the tubes, and get back to that other spacecraft. So it's going to take 3 missions.
That's dumb.
In the meantime,
I feel like we should be further along than this.
we've already had rovers there.
Right.
China enters Mars' atmosphere like 2 weeks after we do because it's
Uh-huh.
the window.
Right.
Had they worked together,
Right.
China's rover could have picked up our tubes.
You know what's interesting? So there's a new 3-part series on the History Channel, and it's called "The Titans That Built America," and it's about Henry Ford.
That's older though.
No, it's new.
because I've seen one. Like how new? I've seen Rockefeller.
It's
Ford.
like last week. Yeah.
Oh, so they've already done one about.
So yeah, it's about Henry Ford and Henry Ford's son, DuPont, whatever, I can't remember his first name is.
Stainmaster.
Yeah. John Chrysler, I think it's John Chrysler. Anyway, it starts off with, Ford's and his assembly line, and then DuPont built all the weapons for World War I, and after the war he's out of, he doesn't have a profit, so he buys GM, and John Chrysler was one of the top people at GM, and then he left and made Chrysler. And there's a lot of stuff I didn't know, like the Chrysler building was John Chrysler's, he built it.
His pet project.
But the Empire State Building was DuPont's project.
Oh,
and
really?
He wanted it bigger. Like, it was honestly a dick measuring contest between these three guys
I knew
until...
that because the Chrysler building was first, right?
Right.
And Empire came on and was like 10 feet higher.
Yeah.
Or, it's more than that, but
yeah, it's not a lot.
marginally
Right.
higher.
But what was interesting is it all built up to World War II, and they all came together for World War II, all of them, and they built airplanes and tanks, and
So what
they
you're saying,
shared
patents.
they did.
Yeah.
They Ford gave John Chrysler a bunch of stuff, and begrudgingly, but they did it.
I'm pretty sure that there are laws on the books that the federal government can take over any patent during wartime.
Probably.
It's like the Defense Act or something. But what you're saying is if we had a common enemy on Mars.
Well, yeah, then,
Sure.
that's why we've talked about this many, many, many times when people say, I want to go back in time and kill Hitler. I'm like, well, you may not like the world you come
Right.
back to.
No, we wouldn't have rockets. We wouldn't have jets.
We wouldn't. There was so much that came out of that.
Right.
So yeah, if we were to, instead of competing against each other, I mean, if you put Bezos and Musk and what's his bucket's money together and their teams together,
Yeah.
we'd probably have warp drive in a year.
Well, so here's the deal. I mean, Musk is going to be on Mars in like 2 years,
right.
right? Like 2024. The plan to get, or on the moon. Did I say Mars?
You said Mars. Yeah.
He'll be on the moon in a couple
I
of
mean,
years.
I know he wants to go to Mars.
I
though.
think Bezos will be there as well. He's paying millions to NASA to try and make it his ship.
we paid for it.
Yeah. My point, though, about this rover mission is I was super excited thinking, oh, we're going to get samples back
Right.
now. And then I
Right.
listened closely, and they're like, we'll have the samples back by about 2030.
Yeah, I know.
Like 2030,
That's ridiculous.
Elon's going to be
we
there.
should be further along.
They're going to
than
have a
this, right?
garden and like,
Do you see that one of Saturn's moons might have aliens on it or something?
no.
There's all these methane pockets that they're detecting.
Really?
Yeah.
So they think there's like cows there?
I guess.
Letting off
I
the
don't know.
methane.
I don't know. I do want to play you real quick this news report the day after Bezos returned.
Up neon goldfish
Oh, not
shit
this.
for his
Not
basement
this.
bar. We turn now to the tragedy gripping the nation in our segment, America Mourns. America stood still today as Jeff Bezos tragically safely returned from suborbital flight at the age of 57. If you pause the footage right here, you can see the exact moment when the Blue Origin rocket doesn't explode. A warning to our audience, here's graphic footage of Bezos leaving the capsule, his body completely intact.
This is why TV is so dangerous.
Bezos then confirmed the worst, that he was alive and able to continue doing his whole thing.
I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon
Sounds like
customer,
such a stoner
'cause
in that.
you guys paid for all
You
this.
guys paid
For
for all
every
that.
Amazon customer out there and every Amazon employee, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You heard him, America. We did this.
It's
And
true here.
We're told that shattered Amazon workers are spontaneously commemorating this tragedy by symbolically lowering the windshield wipers on their homes. Friends, what went
van.
wrong here?
My grandkids have been looking forward to this day all year.
Oh,
the day
man.
Mr. Bezos goes boom, they call it. I just don't know how I'm supposed to tell them. Mr. Bezos didn't go boom. He went.
There is a general bad taste in people's mouths for Jeff Bezos right
Well,
now.
and Branson's getting the brunt of it too now.
Why? What did he do?
Well, for the same reason, just spending
Yeah,
billions
I
of dollars
know.
to go to space.
I have like really mixed feelings on it because, yeah, they could use their money for better things, but come on, man, it's space.
yeah, like, well, but yes, but back to the the point was
and seeing how dirty our air was today, it's like we should speed things
Yeah.
up, get to another
we
planet.
could speed things up if the three of them would work together,
I know.
right? If you took all of Elon's money, Bezos' money, and Branson's money and gave it to NASA, we'd be on Mars.
Oh yeah, like a year, right?
Yeah, like it would be done. You know, like the smartest engineers still work for NASA.
yeah.
So
True.
just yeah,
Child's
make it happen.
Well, this since we're on the topic of space flight, you yourself said that you've been into space lately, Saturn V sort of situations.
Yeah.
I noticed. Not that I stalk you on my Printful stuff, but
Oh, yeah.
I get notifications.
Yeah.
And you made a couple of Apollo
Yeah, I
T-shirts.
got the lem right
and,
here on my
and-
computer.
And some.
Let's see, where is it? Oh no,
Yeah. Right
there
there.
it is.
There it is.
there's the lem.
And you got some like deep V neck shirts coming or something.
Well, no, they were just like normal V-neck, but they're longer.
Yeah.
They're longer.
I know. So remember last episode I confessed to you that I had intended to get you a birthday present, but
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I wasn't
the jazz came,
right.
and
I wasn't expecting anything.
well, but I had intended to, but the jazz game,
just kidding.
and you just had a baby, so
I
I
did.
figured I'd wrap it into that.
Yep, he is. Let's see, what time is it? And it's the 26th. He's 5 days old.
Wow,
Oliver.
I remember when I was 5 days old.
Me too.
Oliver Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Nicholas.
Oliver,
Middle name is after my
Oliver
brother.
Closeoff Sherman or something. I don't know, right?
That's right.
Anyway, now I got you a birthday present,
All right.
and the box is way bigger than I anticipated.
Well, it's Amazon. Is it Amazon?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, they do that.
It's already been opened. You just have to pull the tab here.
Pull the tab.
Now, I know initially you were like, I don't want this, but you also have 6 weeks to not do anything because you're on paternity. And I got to looking at it,
You did not.
and I'm like, oh my God, this is actually super cool.
Holy shit, Spencer. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is, actually.
You got me the freaking Saturn V.
Yeah, man.
Lego.
Turn the background. Look, it divides up into
Yeah.
everything. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it turns out that this is like the best model and only.
Yeah, it's true.
I have scoured the internet for models of the Saturn V rocket that were workable,
Right.
They don't
exist. Or they're like really cheap and crappy.
or they're like $7,000.
And you know, all things considered, even though this is Lego, it doesn't really look. They did a good job of.
of curving.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
all the reviews
yeah.
are like, this is by far the
Oh, really?
coolest Lego.
It's
I've
also
ever
like
done.
this big.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I even went to Etsy. I'm like, maybe someone's out there 3D printing a Saturn V. And no,
Mhm.
you know what there are?
What?
There's brackets to mount this on your wall for like $60.
What?
I know. Yeah. You're like, oh, I'm gonna order that. They're like, oh no, it's brackets. No, this is fucking cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, so you can either build it now or wait till Oliver's 14
No, I'm totally
and,
building
and
it.
build it with him.
Totally gonna build. I've actually, confession,
Yeah.
I've never had a Lego set.
What?
It just wasn't something
Oh
that
my God.
happened in my family. I don't know.
Dude, you're gonna build it and see if it
I
if
think
it relaxes
like,
you.
We were poor. We had like, they were probably called like Negos.
Oh yeah, Mega Blocks. Man.
Mega Blocks,
Those
yeah.
things, I had to purge myself of those.
Yeah, they don't fit together, right?
No, they're
This is so
garbage.
freaking cool.
I thought about keeping it.
Well, we'll put it in the podcast room.
And actually, on my way over here, this is a crazy twist of fate. I forgot to bring it, and I'm driving down just right by my house, and there's a guy walking his dog, and
he's holding one.
no, close though. He's wearing a NASA shirt, and I was like, ah.
Yes. Yeah, I ordered. I made it. So Spencer makes custom T-shirts.
It's true.
And we have a lot of T-shirts on Scary Parrot Media and on the ArtTakePodcast.com. But now I can go in there with my lack of artistic ability
and just put whatever you
and
want.
just put shit on there.
Yeah.
And so I did. I made a couple T-shirts, one with the lem,
Mhm.
and then a NASA one with the little astronaut sitting on the. I can't remember.
Yeah,
what I put
yeah,
it.
I saw. Yeah.
I like the worm logo, but I was like, I gotta spice
Oh,
it
yeah.
up somehow. Like, I'll put a little guy on there. Oh, tattoo idea.
Oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
I've wanted an astronaut forever, right?
What is it, Quagmire? He gets the tattoo of a space shuttle on his penis, and then the pubes he cuts them.
That's awesome. So I want to get. There's a lot of really cool astronaut tattoos.
Oh,
Like there's
sure.
some realism ones that are like the picture of Buzz Aldrin with the reflection in his helmet.
Oh,
you know?
right.
Here's what worlds came together for me. I want an astronaut sitting on the moon at a podcast table, recording a podcast, like with his like hands up in a microphone.
That's our goal.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I have to find an artist and send him.
I can make you a T-shirt like that.
Let's do it. We'll start there, and I'll find an artist and say, "Show me your work," and I'll get it like, I don't know, on my shoulder or something.
Man, that's pretty cool.
That's a cool one, right?
He's just at a desk.
Just at a desk on the moon by himself. Little microphone like this, maybe an old school one that's silver, you know.
Right.
And he's like explaining something, so his hands are in the air, you know.
Is he explaining something, or is he like?
Yeah, he's like he's pissed. Yeah, maybe there's a lem behind him or something. I don't know.
The Earth is exploding in the background.
Yeah, but it'll be if I got it like right here, my shoulder, it could I think it could work its way down into a sleeve of other things.
Right.
I do have to get an O now for Oliver.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because I have a Q for my daughter.
It's because you're a rampant QAnon
It
supporter.
is. Yeah, you may have seen the Q on my computer. That's because of QAnon. Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
It is, man. It is. So my daughter's name is Quinn, and I was like, "Hey Spencer, will you print me some Qs in vinyl?" He's got a vinyl
Right.
cutter, and he's like, "Sure." So he prints them all off. I put them on my guitar, my computer,
Mm-hmm.
and then 6 months into QAnon, he's like, people might think that's QAnon. I was like, "Fuck!" I didn't even think about it. I was like, "Great." People are looking at the tattoo. They're like,
Oh, gotta avoid him.
"Do you believe in Jewish space lasers?"
Yeah,
Or?
Luis, I told Luis and Brent, our friends, about our 3 million video, and they went in TikTok and looked, and they were like, with Brian's beard, that you guys kind of look like you might be talking about QAnon and conspiracies.
It's growing back out, by the way. I was disappointed when I cut it. I immediately looked in the mirror and said, "Shit."
Can you even tell what I did this last night?
Your beard's looking long.
I know, but right here, I don't even know if you could tell. Yeah, you probably can.
Did you nip it?
Yeah, I took more.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like when these
I hate
mustache hairs get long enough, they go up
I
to
hate
my
it.
nose.
Jake McFarlane has a long mustache right now and a long beard.
Uh-huh.
And he's worked it. He's constantly working it like this,
Mm-hmm.
spitting on his fingers.
Ew.
I'm just kidding. But his is long. I can't do it. I have to cut mine off at the...
It drives me nuts
lip.
because it goes up in my hair and wakes me up at night in my nose.
Yeah.
It's weird. So it was actually the middle of the night. I was like trimming it, and I went,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, you're just getting long, man. All right. I like
yeah,
it.
yeah. Speaking,
Thank you. I'm seriously so
no,
stoked about
it's
this.
no problem.
Yeah.
You know, my time for the Jazz game and that I think that's fair.
Yeah, it worked itself out.
So this week, speaking of airplanes and whatever we're talking about, spaceships, last week I got to go to another simulator, a brand new one that we have for the ERJ, our Embraer jet, the newer jets that are super nice.
Right on. Where's it at?
It's in Salt Lake. It's
cool.
It's a separate company that we contract with, and they keep all the sims there for us. And I got to go in there without a pilot, just me and the tech. And I took off and landed no problem.
Well,
Dude,
what are you doing?
well, it's because
Isn't there like a shortage of pilots?
right. It's flying gets easier the bigger the plane is, but it's everything else
Right.
that you got to know. Like you when you're a private pilot, you don't have to know that much about the plane, but when you're
It's like the just in case.
yeah,
You have to
yeah.
have all the scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so this thing is super realistic. Like I don't know.
Does it move?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude. So the pilots that do these, this is how they get checked off. This is called a check ride when you get certified on a particular aircraft. That's how they get. It's so realistic that you actually
They trust that method.
yeah, the FAA will certify you on these sims
As an astronaut.
as an astronaut. So the first time a lot of these pilots fly the plane is the first. They're with
Oh, man.
passengers
That's
on board.
off-putting.
Yeah, I know.
Like not even as a co.
No, they are all first officers. They're all co-pilots.
Okay.
But it is their first time flying with people.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Do they like? So they're called the first officer.
Yeah.
How often does the captain pass it over for landing or pass it over for takeoff? Like, does that happen?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that has to, right?
Pretty much the captain doesn't.
But they don't tell. They just let
kind
the
of.
first
They
officer
just
do
kind of
it?
like coach them.
Oh, really?
I mean, if they want to take over, they can. I don't have a ton of. But when I was in the.
Oh yeah, you were in the cockpit.
Yeah, when I did the jump seat, that's what was happening. The first officer, she did all the takeoffs and landings. But she was also about to do her test to become a captain. So I think he was letting her because she hadn't. There's 3 models of the CRJ you can fly, and she doesn't really fly the smallest one, and because it's a little different. And so she was. That's what we were in. So she was.
And they don't announce that.
No. that's the.
I'm your
that's-
captain.
that's
However, the
what's-
first officer will be
Yeah.
manning the ship today while I take
Yeah.
a nap.
Right. That's the thing that gets tricky about these planes. Like, you get checked out and certified on one of them, and like the 737, that was the issue with the MAX is you didn't need any additional training to fly the MAX if you'd flown any other 737.
Right.
Because the process of stick flying is flying it
Right.
is basically the same, but then it's not because obviously those planes crash. But
Yep.
anyway, when so I took a turn, I took off and landed in St. Louis. I mean, this thing's so realistic. When you put the flaps down or landing gear down, like it vibrates.
Really?
Yeah, like it's
That's
crazy. And when
Does
the
it like
tech,
tip back for like G's? and
dude,
stuff? Yeah.
it's hyper realistic.
That's so
Like,
cool.
I don't.
That's so cool.
It is. It feels exactly like when I was flying real
Yeah.
planes. So the guy with me, the tech there, he took a turn. And we took off, and I was like, "Hey, you want me to put your gear up?" And he's like, "I don't care, whatever." So I put his gear up, and he came in for his landing,
Forgot to put it.
and we just, bam, dude. And again, this thing is hyper realistic. So it was like, whoop. and he was like, "Oh, what the hell?" And later he's like, "Dude, I forgot to put the gear back down." Like,
It'd be funny if they had like torches
yeah.
to make it hot. Like, you're on fire.
So I guess when you crash, it's called a red screen, but
Yeah.
we didn't get it, so we would have survived.
It withheld.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Doesn't it tell you, like, I would figure there's a sensor somewhere on the plane that's like, we noticed that you are at like 100 relative
no, you're
feet.
actually. You're right. There is, and I don't know why it didn't go off.
The Sims fucked, man.
I don't know.
You got to report that.
Because I'm trying to think. I've actually never flown an ERJ on like Microsoft Sim, but on any other plane, when you get to a certain speed, it'll scream at you till you put the gear down. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah. You should bubble that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is a Brazilian plane, so I mean,
Well, they land on water,
right.
so.
I forgot to send this to you here. I found this video, and I thought when I saw it that it was a new story, but it's actually from 2017. And I know you're a fan of the orangutan.
Yes, my favorite animal.
And I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it kind of frightened me.
Okay. Hang on just a second. What have we?
Female finds a saw.
Oh, man. Orangutan with a saw sitting on a branch.
Despite being totally wild, somehow she has worked out what to do with it.
You know, Jane Goodall probably knew this like 50 years ago. She's
Like
the one who
us,
taught him.
Orangutans have an opposable thumb that allows them to grasp and handle objects with precision.
So
Over
before
20 years ago, a rescue orangutan learned how to saw by watching people constructing the huts here.
What?
But this is a totally different and wild orangutan. She seems to take pride in her work, even clearing away the sawdust.
Oh, that's crazy.
Did she just lick it off?
No,
Like
she
blow
blew it. She blew it.
She's like, this is going to revolutionize my hut.
So smart. She uses her feet as a vice to steady the branch.
Oh, man, humans don't even do that.
Well, it's because
We're
we
the-
have bison.
Filming a wild-born and
We made a
free-living
vice.
orangutan mastering this complex task is remarkable.
All right, she just sawed a log in half, like a
But
4-inch.
now, she's not the only orangutan sawing.
This old dude orangutan.
No, it's a robot.
Spy orangutan has joined her.
Oh, is it really a robot?
Yeah.
That's messed up. She knows, man. She totally knows.
Something doesn't look
Seems to
right
be
about
going
this
to
guy.
competitive
So
streak.
anyway, Planet of the Apes is coming. We're all doomed.
It's all right. Orangutans are nice.
You're
They're
right.
nice.
You know, in Planet of the Apes, they are the nicer ones.
Yeah. That's why I like them. They're really. I mean,
I have a hard time.
they can still rip your
I
face
have a hard
off, but-
time with people that say we have no relation to that to monkeys.
Like, come on, look at this.
When you look at something like
Yeah.
that and you're like, oh my, that is incredibly human.
And we're like analyzing it, and she's probably like, "Yeah, it has sharp teeth on it. Of course, I'm going to run it over this wood. What else am I going to do with it?"
I'm not gonna put it in my mouth.
Right. Yeah, there was that show. Man, it was years ago, Orangutan Island. That because the forests where they normally live, the jungles, are just being decimated to put palm oil trees, whatever, palm trees, that they can't live in.
Right.
And so she was taken to this island, and she had them all named and everything. I was listening to a podcast about Jane Goodall, because she worked with chimps back in, the 60s?
Uh-huh.
She went and lived with them.
Right.
And as a female scientist, she was afraid she wouldn't be taken seriously when she saw them using, like, sticks as tools.
Uh-huh.
You know, and people, like, laughed at her and scoffed at it.
Right.
But the thing that was really scary was she had to, in her diary, you know, one of the chimps killed another one. And she had to, like, go back and report that, like, yeah, they're violent. he killed his friend, you know. Anyway.
Oh man,
kinda interesting.
that's terrible.
Yeah. No, orangutans are cool, man. Like, you know, everybody's shit stinks, I'm sure, but you know, I think they're cool.
I like them.
Yeah.
You know, I like the red hair. You know, they're
for sure.
attractive. So the other day, I was in the drive-thru, as I am frequently. I went to the doctor today and found out that might be a problem, but I thought to myself, what do you do when you order too much food for one person, but you're the only one eating it? What would you do to not feel embarrassed? Because I know what I do.
If I went to a drive-thru and I ordered like 2 number 7s.
Right.
Except
not the number 7. You can't if let's say you go and you order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit and a McGriddle and a
orange juice and a Coke.
Well, that's the thing is you get 1 Diet Coke and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's fat." But if you get 2 Diet Cokes, then they think you're buying it for 2 people.
I've never considered it. Honestly, I can say that I've never thought. I mean, okay, I will say this. The other day I went to Jake's Over the Top, local shake place, right?
Right.
Got a burger, got the meal. I wanted a shake, but I didn't want it to replace my drink because I really wanted a Lime Ricky.
No, yeah, that is.
So I got both.
Right.
And I remember thinking as I ordered it, like, they're probably like, "What the fuck, this guy's crazy."
Right.
But then that was as far as the thought went. I didn't think about anything that I should potentially say to the teenager who I'm paying.
It's for both. It's for my wife at home.
She's pregnant.
She wanted a Lime Ricky.
Yeah. So
well, what about? Do you ever go through the drive-thru and just order a drink? Because McDonald's Diet Coke is so much better than everywhere.
I know you say that, but no, I don't. Well, yes, but not for a Diet Coke.
Well, okay.
Like for a Lime Ricky.
Right.
I'll go like Dylan's or something, get a Lime
All
Ricky.
right. Because I feel like they give me attitude when I only order a drink, and I'm not sure if it's just my subconscious.
Probably. I mean,
because why would they care, right?
I think they care the same amount, you know, as anything else. I mean, you and I both worked at Domino's. Like,
right.
If someone called and ordered a pizza versus called and ordered a thing of cheese bread, you're like, whatever.
Yeah,
you
that's
still gotta,
true.
You just got to make it.
It's true.
And they got auto fillers anyway.
I know. It's what I just.
It was probably just a douche.
It's just my mind. You think I'm just.
Yeah, I think it's in your head. But did you think of an excuse? I want to know what
no,
your technique is.
I just order some food even if I'm not hungry.
Wait a second. So you're saying if you order 2 Diet Cokes.
That's if I order a lot of food, more than one person should eat. Then I order 2 and they think I'm taking home some of it.
So you order food.
Right.
Too many breakfast or lunch sandwiches.
Right.
You think you need to get a second drink because in their mind they're like, well, clearly it's for a second person.
Right.
No person in their right mind
would eat all this.
would have 2 Diet Cokes.
Not even this fat guy would do that.
No, I would never do that.
Okay.
Unless
yeah,
I wanted.
Me either. I've never done that.
Unless
either.
I wanted 2 Diet Cokes.
I've never done that. But since we're on the topic of food, have you, since last year, have you used DoorDash much?
Never.
Really?
No. Honestly, I don't know why I've never jumped on it. I think it's because I don't mind the drive.
Okay.
It's just a way to go do something, get out.
Right.
I Uber Eat. I did an Uber Eats because my job gave me like a free thing.
Okay.
So I was like, sure, I'll do it.
I've been, because I have to move soon, and I've been like, man, my rent's going to go up. Where am I going to find all this money? And I found it.
Dude, I've done it before.
Guess how much I spent last month in just DoorDash?
Just DoorDash. $450.
Closer to 600.
Yeah, dude. The only reason I know that is because I've added up my food. Between I love 7-Eleven Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah,
it's the best.
I mean, McDonald's doesn't have it, so yeah,
Yeah.
it would be.
It is. It's so good. So I've added like that up in Wendy's. I've gone through because there have been times in my life where I'm like, I really need to budget. Same thing you're kind of going through.
Right.
And I look at it, I'm like, holy fucking shit. I've spent, I'm like, it's an embarrassing number. Like, I don't even want to tell Ashley, even though it's both of us.
Right.
I'm like,
my 3-month average is like $1,200.
Yeah. Yeah. $1,200 a month in food?
No, it was like 3 months.
Just on DoorDash, though.
Just DoorDash.
Yeah, man. So how much would you have saved if you had just gone and picked it up?
Well, it seems to me that I don't know, it depends on the place, but oftentimes you're almost doubling the cost of it.
Oh, wow.
That may be an exaggeration, but it definitely adds up. I mean, I pay the $10 a month for Dash Pass, so I don't get charged delivery fees.
But you have to tip.
But they charge more. Most restaurants charge more. And there's taxes and junk, and then you have to tip on top of that.
So a $7 meal becomes a $14 meal.
Yet normally when I order McDonald's to be delivered, it's around $13 or $14.
No, I would never do that, man. Like, especially during the summer.
I know.
It's nice outside.
I'm just so lazy on the weekends.
So you could, but this isn't just a weekend thing. You're not spending $400 on the weekends.
No. No. But yeah.
So you could maintain the habit, but just go and pick up your food and you'd save $200 a month.
Well, yeah, but I need to not eat out anymore.
Sure, I know, but one step at a time here.
Take it easy. Let's
I
not
did-
get carried away.
I did pull into 7-Eleven today to get a drink, and on their door it says, "We deliver in less than 30 minutes." I'm like, deliver?
Yeah, I've ordered from
7-Eleven?
at least twice.
Man, what do you, like a taquito?
No. It was when I had the vomits and I got a bunch of Gatorade because there were.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, it was.
That's
I
fair.
felt okay about it.
They're cold.
Although I know I'm pretty sure I did it one other time, but I
Who
might have been
delivers?
DoorDash. DoorDash does everything. They deliver PetSmart now. Like it's yeah.
If you need something like now, I need bird food now.
Yeah, but
DoorDash.
I could have gone and gotten it on Saturday,
Sure,
but
yeah.
I spent the extra money to have it delivered because I didn't want to go anywhere.
I mean, I certainly order a lot of stuff from Amazon, but it's cheaper than if it was the same price. Well, let me think about this for a second. If I was ordering something, let's say I wanted, I don't know, some new plates.
Okay.
And I found they're like the same price at Target versus Amazon.
Right.
honestly, it would depend on Ashley whether or not I bought them from Amazon. I would probably just order them. Buy now.
That
Slide-
is
slide
kind of
across the
how
screen.
I've been lately.
Because
I used
there's
to
no
always
charge for that.
go to the store, but now I'm like, just
Yeah.
it'll be here tomorrow, and maybe even sooner now that the other one's open.
Well, and COVID did that to us too.
Yeah.
It ramped up the
Yeah.
Amazon. That's how he got to space. Because of COVID.
Basically.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh man, can I listen?
Yeah.
This Delta variant, okay?
Yeah.
I have
uh,
no patience for people who are not vaccinated. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
Like this cop
Right.
that died in St. George,
Yeah.
39-year-old cop, has like 3 kids,
Right.
died of COVID. He's a public servant, didn't get vaccinated. My heart is broken for his family.
Well,
But I'm also like, you're a fucking idiot, dude.
From what
Like,
from what I understand, that's what's happening. Is these people are dying, and their families are like, "Oh, can you give them the vaccine now?" It's like it's too late, man. It's too.
I mean,
it's too late.
All of the conservative talk show crazies have switched their tune now.
Oh yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah, because all their people are dying.
And it just pisses me off. I was reading another article about a doctor in Utah. Or he wasn't a doctor. He was a nurse practitioner, had a practice down south in a small town.
Right.
In like Springville or something. And he wouldn't give the vaccine to his patients. He would refer them to a pharmacy. And he didn't get the vaccine. He's a former triathlete. He's like 50 years old.
Uh-huh.
Got it in the hospital for like 4 weeks. Lungs will never be the same again.
Right.
And he's like, I wish I would have gotten the vaccine and told all my patients. I'm like, you're damn right. Like, you should go to jail. Like, what is wrong with
I
you?
agree, and I don't know if you saw. Do you know who Dan Bailey is?
Yeah, dude.
He is.
I only know his name because of.
He is the luckiest man.
I'd give anything.
The luckiest man in the world.
He almost didn't do enough.
I know.
Okay, are you gonna play the clip?
Yeah, sure.
So
I'll
Dan
pull it up.
Bailey he's a Montana man who had the great pleasure of running into Tucker Carlson in a fishing tackle store.
Which did you hear the tackle store is called Dan Bailey?
Is
But
it his store?
No.
What?
They have no relation
Come on.
whatsoever. Like the company had to put out a statement.
Listen.
That's like
It's like 4 Seasons.
Yeah.
This is a simulation.
I'm Richard Branson.
Oh, it's Richard Branson.
And I have a once-in-a-lifetime.
Oh, he's gonna start giving away trips to space now to make him.
While we're waiting for this ad, did you see
Fishing
Bezos
guide
give away
spotted
like
noted vaccine skeptic Tucker
$200 million
Carlson.
as soon as he landed?
Did he?
Yeah, to
Not to me.
Don Lemon on CNN for his charity and another dude.
You know what I'm getting burnt out on YouTube is I just want the video. I don't want your stupid commentary
Oh yeah, it's really annoying.
about the video. Just
Yeah.
find me the video.
We don't have to play it.
No, it's good.
Okay. I mean, this guy confronts him.
Why is this the longest commercial? Oh no, it's someone else's stupid.
This is deep. They almost.
What you have done to everybody else in this system. I want you to know that what you have done to this state, to the United States, to everything else in this world.
That's gonna be. It's not gonna work.
Huh?
Don't even get my. I don't care, man. Okay, dude, you are.
Yes, it's not gonna work over the podcast.
Yep.
So
He says you are the worst human
the
being
worst
in
human
the
being.
world.
And he says like, what you've done to this state, meaning Montana, the United States, and the world. Tucker apparently before this said, "Hey, my daughter's here. Lay off." Before someone started recording, and so the guy says, "I don't care that your daughter's here," and keeps going.
Right.
Then the Tucker calls him son, and then it looks like it's gonna get physical, and the camera stops. Anyway.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, but I really want to know. I've known for a long time that you can't have a rational argument with an irrational person.
Truth.
But I am curious why you wouldn't get vaccinated now. Okay, the vaccine's been out since January, February. I got it in March. You got it in March. Worldwide, there's been 3.8 billion doses given. In the United States, over 350 million doses given. What is it that you're looking for? What is it that you're afraid of now if you don't have it yet? I don't understand.
Well,
if you were
did
waiting
you
for
see,
like
did you see that poll of people in Utah that the poll was would you now consider getting the vaccine? And still, it comes back like 90% of the people
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
wouldn't.
they did a national one that said that people they surveyed people who hadn't been vaccinated yet.
Right.
And said, "Are you thinking about it?" And like 65% of them were still definitely no. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I mean, it's literally the reason these hosts are turning their tails and trying to convince people to get it is because, and the Republican Party is because their people are dying.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance they're going to lose a lot of them. And
and there's got to be some threats of lawsuits coming from somebody.
you
know,
think.
I just, so many people have gotten it. If there was a problem with the vaccine, we would have known. You know, if you're talking about long term, if you think there's like a 10-year consequence, you need to just ask your doctor. That's just not how the shit works.
I'm
it's
also
literally
tired.
like a 2 millimeter dose.
I'm tired of the people being like in the ads trying to convince people. Do research. Talk to just get it.
Just get it.
It's fine.
Like drinking a 12-pack of Coke is probably worse for you 10 years from now than the COVID vaccine. Not probably, for sure, because the COVID vaccine will save your life. There was a state representative, I saw his tweet. Can't remember his name, but I would recognize it if he was a United States representative. So it was a state representative from somewhere who tweeted, "It's strange to me that the variant seems to be targeting those who aren't vaccinated." Like,
Are
is
you
that
sure this
really-
isn't the same guy who suggested the Forest Service change the?
Louis Gohmert? No, this wasn't Louis. But
why are these people so stupid?
I don't know. Fauci was on CNN saying that we might have to go back to masks, right?
Right.
And then a bunch of people tweeting about that, saying, "How are we supposed to trust anybody when the messaging keeps changing?" Well, the messaging is changing because the virus is fucking changing. Like, of course the messaging is going to change.
Right.
Like, what do you expect?
You aren't getting the vaccine, so yeah, we're gonna have to.
Like, it's mutating in you people.
Right.
In you people who aren't vaccinated. That's where it's mutating. Like, man, I got no patience for it. And
No.
and people who get it and then apologize afterwards, I don't care.
Right.
I don't want your apology. I want you to spend all of your money convincing people that you convinced not to go do it now.
Right.
Because I don't know what you could do. Nothing's good enough for me after you've spent a year bashing it to be like, "Oh, I got really sick. You should probably get it."
I don't know how Fox News, how they're even on the air anymore after their blatant lies. You know, at the beginning, they played down the pandemic like crazy, and then they came back. I mean, you've seen the video clips, the one after the other, where Hannity is like, "This is just like the flu. We don't need to be worried." And then,
Yeah, he said the sky is falling sarcastically.
yeah. And then, a week later, he's like, "This show has never not taken the coronavirus seriously
Like,
or
this is
downplayed."
This is one of the biggest experiments in gaslighting.
Right.
Like, from a sociological or psychological standpoint, the gaslighting that's happening on Fox News right now has got to be historic proportions, because they've spent 7 months. Actually, no, that's just since the vaccine's been out.
Right.
They spent a year and a half really talking shit about a vaccine and about the coronavirus.
Right.
And now it's a full 180 of, you should go get it. It works. You know, even
Right.
people like Kayleigh McEnany are on there saying that they should go get it. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you could. I don't know how you could continue to watch that. Even if you watch it for entertainment, why? Why?
I don't know. It can't be.
It's still influencing your opinion.
Can't be that entertaining. He's such an idiot. These
Sorry,
guys are
get worked
so
up. Just so
so
fucking pissed.
stupid.
Just no patience for it.
You know who's really stupid? Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, she is really stupid. And Lauren Boebert.
I can't wait for the next election, and I hope.
I will contribute to her opponent.
Oh yeah, I don't care who they are. I don't care if
We
they're.
should fly. Let's fly to Atlanta, to Georgia, and
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of.
and canvas against her.
From what I understand, her constituents are pretty embarrassed.
Have you seen Lauren Boebert's rap sheet? By the way,
No.
Holy shit, she's from Colorado, representative, right?
Oh right.
She's got like a DUI, an assault, a domestic dispute, disorderly conduct. Like wow.
I think,
She's-
doesn't Marjorie Taylor Greene have a bunch of stuff like that too?
Probably. And on top of that, Lauren Boebert, she owns restaurants apparently, and took a bunch of PPP money from the government that she probably voted against.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Just bad people, man. I know it's hard to imagine. I know it's hard for good people to imagine, but there are bad people out there.
There are a lot.
Those two are bad people. Oh, here's some good news though.
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz
is dead,
and MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, went on this little tour.
Yeah.
Bunch of venues canceled them in California.
Nice.
Turns out they lost a ton of money.
Oh, good.
Like they did this to make money.
Right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is actually one of the highest in terms of how much money she can bring in for the GOP.
Right.
So she kind of took Matt under her wing. He's got this whole pedophile scandal.
Did you see that TikTok, that guy, where he comes up behind him to get pictures with both of them? And he's like,
dude, yeah, that
I
guy-
never believed you were a pedophile, man.
Yeah.
And hit the expression on his face. He's just like,
yes, if you want to, so that Walter Masterson is his name.
Yeah.
He also he's on another handle called The Good Liars.
oh, he's on that one too?
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know if he does it anymore. I think he kind of switched to his own.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, TikTok, go look up The Good Liars or Walter Masterson.
The Good Liars is hilarious.
Dude,
It makes me sad for
They
how
find
stupid
their
people
way
are.
into these events.
Uh-huh.
Like
the Ted Cruz one.
Dude, the Ted Cruz one. There's also the who was the rich guy running for president? Not Bloomberg.
I don't know. They're all pretty rich.
The really rich
Donald
Stein?
Trump?
No. Fuck.
Wait, not Bloomberg?
No, he was
Hmm.
running as an independent or as a Democrat.
I have no idea.
Anyway, they're at a rally of his, and he stands up. Like one guy comes walking in all disheveled. He's like, "This guy hit me with his car. He hit me with his car." And as he's walking away, the other guy stands up. He's like, "Has this happened to you?" It goes into like a whole like lawyer pitch.
I have not seen that one.
It's so funny. Anyway, yeah, The Good Liars on TikTok or Walter Masterson.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's funny.
They find their way into these rallies and shit. But yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz were on the beach, and he photo bombed them and was like, "Everybody said you're a pedophile. I never believed
I
it."
never once believed it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, their little tour lost a bunch of money, so it's good.
I don't understand the Republican Party. I don't know how anyone can get behind it anymore with them.
Yeah, they've tied themselves to a losing candidate. It's really weird.
You know what was something interesting I heard the other day? Man, what was I watching? It was something about the decline of religion in America.
Yeah.
And them correlating it directly to religion siding with a political party.
Like as religion dies, that's what it's going to do.
Right.
Has
Well,
to-
that's what's causing it to
Ugh.
really get, because if you're a Christian, but you are not conservative on your political views, I would imagine that it'd be hard to continue to go to church, and
I think it depends on
if the remainder of your
right
congregation was
yeah, I think it depends on geography.
Right.
Like evangelicals, yes.
Right.
Right. But there's a lot of Christians in this country, Protestants, Catholics, in the north.
Numbers
northeast.
are going down
There is
rapidly, though.
But you know that are liberal or Democrat.
Oh yeah.
Joe Biden being a Catholic, one of them. So
That's true. But he's also, I believe he's the Antichrist.
Just some
like
bishops.
just like Obama was.
Well, did you see the bishops in the United States? They were going to hold a vote. I think, I don't know the internal workings of the politics of Catholicism, but it was like some vote on whether or not he should receive communion because he supports abortion. Right?
Right.
The Pope came out and said, this is not a vote that you should have. Communion should not be withheld for any reason at all if someone wants to, right? Whatever. And they were going to do it anyway, and it created this kind of this fever, like you're going against the Vatican. I'm sure there was some threats.
Right here on Gallup, U.S. church membership falls below majority for first time. That was in March.
Wow. So the majority of Americans now do not identify with a religion.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's the spiritual but not religious people.
Yeah, probably. Well, you got to figure out what religion serves for you. You know what I mean? If it
Speaking of,
if it helps answer any questions you have, then good for you.
Speaking of religion, did you see our favorite senator trying to repeal Roe versus Wade?
No.
Really?
No.
How have you not heard about this?
Mike Lee?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Him and his posse of.
How many times has Roe v. Wade? So he's trying to do it in the Senate.
Right. So let's see who brought this up. Lawyers for Mississippi asked the Supreme Court on Thursday to overturn Roe v. Wade and give state legislators the authority to outlaw abortions. Mike Lee is part of this too. I think they're maybe just supporting it. Nonetheless.
Well, I don't know how many cases are going to end up on the Supreme Court list,
Right.
for them to either decide to hear it or not. But because their state legislatures are passing laws at a record rate right now,
It's because they know what's coming.
For abortion, for voting rights, like all of it's happening.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
What happened with bathtub soap dish?
All right. So my mother-in-law got Ashley a gift for having a baby, which was to have a cleaner come to the house.
Nice.
Deep clean. Spent a ton of time doing it. Awesome. Get in the shower. Our shower's just like a old rebath, right?
Okay, yeah.
And it looked like whoever was cleaning the bath leaned on the soap dish too much, so the seam on the top broke, like it needed to be like caulked,
I believe it's cocked.
Cocked, dicked, yeah. And so, so I saw it, and Ashley's like, "Hey, we need to get that so no mold grows in there."
Right.
Right. Okay. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's true." And then I got a new shower head because
I'm surprised you didn't say, "Yeah, that's true." The cocking gun is right down the hall,
It's down in the basement.
in the left. There.
Yeah. I was like, we need a new shower head. It was old, and they didn't break it. It's already been broken, but because they touched it, it was all broken. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Right.
Long story short, I got a new shower head.
Ooh.
It's a dual,
Oh.
a dually, and I just wanted to take a bath, right? So I just took
You
a bath.
are a grown man, though, right?
I take baths a lot.
All right.
I fall asleep in there. It's just
No, that's cool.
If you've never done it.
No, that's
There's an OnlyFans for it. So I
specifically sleeping in bathtubs.
So I was as I was sitting down, I put my hand on it.
Uh-oh.
And it started to separate.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed that it was just glued on. It didn't come off. I was like, "Oh, all right. That's fine. Like I'll just glue it back on."
Right.
And as I was sliding down, I was using the sides to
I just looked up sleeping in bathtub fetish and
and
anyways, the website spankbank.com was the first thing that came up, and I'm done with my research.
So I was using like the side of the tub and the soap dish as leverage to slide down without drowning.
Right.
And as I was doing so, the soap dish came completely off and hit me in the face.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a bruise.
Oh.
It hurt for like 3 days.
And then you passed out and drowned. So
Yes.
you got to be more careful, man.
It gets worse though, man.
You
So
know,
I was
maybe
I
you
looked
should
at it.
get a rail, like an old man rail.
I do, and I need sticky things. Yeah. So I just decided, like in the moment, I was like, "Well, it's just glued on. I'm just gonna scrape the glue off and not have a soap dish in here. We don't use it. We have a shower curtain with pockets, so whatever.
You don't use soap.
Don't use soap.
No,
either.
that's cool. I've
No
heard
one
it's-
uses soap.
Heard it's good for your skin.
So, but as I went to get out of the tub, over the years of taking baths, I've used it to pull myself up.
Right.
It was the most frustrating physical moment I've ever had. Because I'm looking at my left hand.
It's like coming out of the womb.
Yes. I'm looking at my left hand, knowing that there's nothing there. But my hand tried, as I'm looking at it, 5 times to grab the soap dish, to pull myself up that wasn't there. It was doing it while I was laughing. It was the most frustrating thing because I had no other way in my mind, in my like muscle memory mind.
Right.
I had no other way to get out of the tub. You know? So
Right.
in my hind brain, I was like, fuck, I'm stuck in here. Like I can't get out. Anyway, that's my soap dish story.
That's
Yeah.
so. You know, I build Legos occasionally, right?
Yeah.
And at my job, my main job, I'm do a lot of graphics, and I use the Command Z button a lot.
Yeah.
The undo button.
Undo. Yeah, you make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have caught myself multiple times when I'm building Legos, and I get somewhere. I'm like,
know where you're
I pull something apart and redo it, and I'm like, I don't like this, and I just,
Your hand goes down.
yeah, to undo it. Damn it!
Like, why isn't my keyboard? Oh, I've had that happen with. I'll see something crazy, like driving,
Right.
or a cool plane,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in TV mode. And I'm like, oh, I can't rewind. I can't rewind real life. Like it'd be so cool if I could rewind
I
this.
feel like I've done that before too.
The Command Z is pretty good though. So you're sitting at your table, putting stuff together.
Yeah.
Your left hand goes down.
Yeah.
Index finger, middle finger.
Right. Oh, this is not gonna work.
That's the next invention. That you do it and the piece just pops off. That'd be so cool.
That's not the. Have I ever told you about the time that I feel like I have that I was driving home and I was in my old black Civic, and I was about to pull into my house, and there was a car exactly like mine in the driveway.
So you had a panic?
No. But I did out loud say, "Oh, Spencer's home."
Shut the fuck up. I can't believe you just admitted to that.
I know. No.
Who would you have been talking to?
I don't know, man.
About yourself.
I don't know.
How long did it take you?
It was pretty instantaneous, but I mean, come on.
Oh.
How often does that happen? It was one of my mom's friends.
But I just don't understand why you would recognize that you're home when you're you.
Have you? Has that ever happened to you? No, because it doesn't happen, right? The odds of that happening are very, very slim.
Oh man, that's freaking rich, man. You're like completely dissociated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're
Let me tell you the story about a cop.
okay.
Ash and I were driving to Wendy's,
Ooh,
and if you're not familiar,
sexy.
on Harrison Boulevard, it dips down into like kind of a gully, and then comes back up.
Right.
And there's no shoulder
Right.
on the west side of the road.
Right. There's like a house with a bat cave. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah, but there's no shoulder. We're
Right.
talking like it's K rails
Right.
and like 5 inches.
Right.
And then the white line. Okay.
Right.
So I'm driving down. Traffic is stopped.
Uh-huh.
Like, what the hell? What? Okay. Oh, I see a cop. Like, people in front of me move over. So I move over. Driving past. He's got his, his thing, light bar on the top saying, move to the left. And he's backing up the hill. It's a really steep hill.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm going slow, and I look, and there's probably probably a 70-year-old woman in a motorized wheelchair driving up the hill. And he's just backing up in front of her so as to help her not get hit head on because she's in the lane. There's no shoulder.
Right.
So he's just backing her up the hill. Like, he's just backing up. He's not pulling her.
Uh-huh.
She's using her motor. Right? I'm like, that is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, but he probably doesn't have a choice, right? I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, let me just hurry and back you up. I'll protect you. Unless I get creamed from the back, then you're dead. So
I'm surprised he didn't push her. Have you ever seen cops do that?
He gets behind her.
They do that though. That's why they have that bar.
Well,
that,
not on a wheelchair.
No, of course not. But I've seen them do it before, where there's an accident and they'll just push
Yeah.
a car over to the shoulder.
Yeah. So we go to Wendy's.
That's what I would have done.
We're like, that was weird. Wendy's is like 3 blocks away.
Might even charge the battery.
It's a hybrid. So we're like, Wendy's is like 3 blocks away. We're going through the drive-through. It's right next to the fire station.
Right.
So as we're pulling out, fire truck and ambulance are going.
Uh-huh.
I'm right behind them. They're going my way, back to my house. Okay. We crest the top of the hill, and they're stopped
Uh-huh.
at the top of the hill.
Okay.
There's citizens on the other side of the road with that woman in her wheelchair. She's now still in her wheelchair, but on like the grass park strip of this strip mall. And that
Okay.
cop's gone.
Uh-huh.
And I thought to myself, and to Ashley, she was in the car, I'm like, where the fuck did the cop go? He just backed her up the hill and was like, have a good day.
He didn't,
Like, didn't check on her. Like, obviously she's not in her right space to be thinking that she can wheelchair up the hill.
right.
So I was livid. Like, I had a visceral response. Like, that these firefighters got dispatched on a 911 to a woman in distress in a wheelchair. Good Samaritans are helping her. The cop who backed her up the hill where would he have gone? Where would he have possibly gone?
Well, maybe he called the fire department, and when they showed up, he left.
They were just pulling up.
I don't
like the truck.
Was
the
he?
truck was
Was
just pulling
he?
up.
Was he part of the South Ogden Police Department?
That's what I don't know. It was a white SUV, which some of the sheriffs have.
Yeah, that'd be a sheriff. Weber County
Right.
Sheriff.
Which it was a highway, so that is their jurisdiction. So
I mean,
all I'm saying is, why would that cop leave? Like, listen, you've watched enough cops.
maybe she was combative.
You've watched enough cops to know that cops they're not in a hurry to leave a scene.
My gosh.
Right?
I just remembered something else stupid that I did.
Okay, you'll tell me in a minute. Tell me in a minute. But cops aren't in a hurry to leave a scene once the scene is established.
Right.
A crash, a chase, a simple domestic, whatever.
Right.
A choking kid. They'll save the kid, and they'll stay there for 2 hours still.
Right.
Right. Securing the scene.
That's true, because they like to hang out with each other.
Right. It's a reason to
He must have
fraternize.
He must have been on the way home.
I don't know, man. I was just.
Or maybe he got another. You don't know. You don't know. It could have been like.
Was he the only cop on duty? And he.
He's probably the one that called the fire department.
I don't know. I really
hey,
don't
I
think
gotta
he was.
leave this old lady.
I really don't think he was, because there were 2 citizens.
Are you sure he didn't park somewhere and got out?
Yeah, there was no one. There was just 2 normal people standing with her, looking at her, like looking her in the eye, like concerned. I mean, backing her up the hill is weird enough. You know, like, just stop right here. We'll get the fire department here. We'll load up your wheelchair, get you back to where you're
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
Yeah, you just back her up the hill. The speed limit's 50, right there.
Right.
Okay, 2 lanes. Anyway.
I need to know more about this story.
That's all there is. I thought about calling the police station, saying, "Who the fuck was was the cop that backed this woman up the hill and just left her, and let these good Samaritans call 911?"
You guys got this, right? I gotta go.
Someone call
I'm on
911.
my way home.
You call 911. My radio's out. My radio's out.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe those were her relatives.
Oh man.
I think you're jumping to conclusions.
I jumped to conclusions.
So
Matt.
one time I was sitting on the couch with Mandy, my ex-wife, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Cops is on," and so I turned on Cops and was watching it, and then I wanted to see what else is on. So I hit guide, started scrolling through.
I already know.
And I got to Cops, and I was like, "Oh, Cops is on."
Did you say it out loud?
I did.
What is that when she left you?
Oh no! Yeah, it's the very day. She's like, "I can't do this anymore." I think it was before we were married. I can't remember.
It's in the divorce papers. As cause.
Yeah.
We were watching TV. He was watching Cops. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm sure I've done that one. That one's more acceptable than, "Hey, Spencer's home."
Shut up. It happens. Look, if you're ever in that, I'm gonna figure out a way to put you in that same situation, even if I have to go to and rent a car.
Oh, oh man,
what's Brian doing here?
That's weird.
I swear that he. What's
I'll switch gears here for a second.
Okay.
Just go back to Amazon. We should have talked about this with Bezos. Let me
Oh.
share this story in case we want to put it on TikTok. This is more of a First Amendment hypothetical for you. I'm curious about your opinion. There is a book that Amazon initially said they were not going to sell.
Right.
It says that it frames young people who identify as transgender as mentally ill. The book is called Irreversible Damage. The cover is a small girl with a hole in her midsection. That's what it is. It's like, and the subtitle is.
You know, someone filled that hole, right? Some creepo.
The subtitle is The Transgender Craze Seducing Our Daughters. The author is Abigail Schreier.
That book clearly looks like it was made in the 40s.
It does.
I don't know if that was the intent or if it actually was, but
she said she likens it to crowd mental illness. Elsewhere in the book, she likens therapists who affirm the gender of transgender patients with affirming a young person's anorexia by agreeing that they are fat. Do you follow that analogy that she makes? It's bullshit,
right?
But you follow. So Amazon initially said we're not going to sell this book, and then they did. And at least two Amazon employees.
Are you saying that a corporation as big as Amazon
Changed their
said
mind.
they weren't going to do something like donate to the Republican Party,
right?
And then come to find out they did or do?
They were the main donor,
Right.
Right. So two Amazon employees at least. This was on July 14th. Quit. They walked out. I believe one of them was transgender, if I'm not mistaken.
The other one probably just wanted to quit anyway.
So it turns out this isn't the first time this has happened to Amazon nor to companies like Target, where they've threatened to not sell a book.
Right.
The publisher or author will threaten them with some sort of lawsuit, and they'll cave. And other cases where they say they're not going to sell it, and they actually don't. My question to you is, where does the First Amendment play here?
Well, I feel like that's just the same thing as Facebook not allowing somebody to do something. I don't think the First Amendment applies if you're a privately owned company. You can do whatever you want. You can sell whatever you want.
Yeah.
I've never understood the argument otherwise. You know, like when the anti-maskers come into Costco and say, "This is America. I don't have to wear a mask," but
you're on private
property in a building, and they can, if they want, they can say, "Hey, you have to be naked to shop here."
Right.
That's their prerogative. I mean, I suppose that if you're breaking laws in the process, like you have to be naked here, that might be a problem. But
right.
even that, I mean, there's nude beaches and stuff. I mean,
right. But I was trying to play devil's advocate on this because I was like, well, could someone make an argument that this author's First Amendment is being infringed? And I couldn't really come up with one that held water. I was just curious because why would Amazon fold here?
That's what I would want to know, the legalities and why they folded.
Right.
Because as far as, I mean, I'm not even close to a lawyer. I don't know.
Right. We need Jake McFarland.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that would be helpful. But as far as I know, I mean, I don't know why.
Like, because they're not the publisher. Even if they were the publisher, like, I guess, what if this author or publisher found, 10 other books that were being sold with similar language?
Unless the only thing I can think of is if Amazon has some kind of a contract with this publisher. Then maybe that's the issue. But as far as a First Amendment goes, I mean,
that's just what the article implied.
Right.
It is Yahoo News. Okay. But I don't know. I was just curious because I feel like this.
I've always kind of had a problem with government coming down on or mixing church and snow, mixing companies and laws like that.
Yeah.
Like for example, I don't really like the fact that the homophobic bakery was forced to sell those people cakes. I kind of just think, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but they weren't. It went the other way.
Did it?
Yeah, the Supreme
Okay.
Court. It was
Well-
a narrow decision, meaning it's not precedent, but they said that they didn't have to.
I just I didn't like that because I feel like, not that I agree with anyone's, decision obviously, but I think it's the company's job or ability or whatever you want to call it to choose to who they want to sell to, and if they don't want to sell to gay people, then that's their prerogative. But then it's the prerogative of the gay couple to publicize the hell out of it and make it where no one goes to that bakery anymore
Right.
and they go out of business.
It's a slippery slope, though, because, we had whites-only stores.
Yeah.
Right? So, the civil rights laws should apply there, but that's a different case. This one here is, I guess, like the only case I see, like you said, is a contract breach, or if they said, well, you guys are selling 10 other books that say the same thing. So now you're discriminating or
I suppose
or something.
I would
But
need
it doesn't
to know.
infringe, like, it's not like they're burning down the publisher's press, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I would I'd like to hear how this ends up, because so they decided
they according to the article, if I remember right, they had said they were not going to sell it.
Oh, and
they
then
had chosen not to sell books that frame LGBTQ plus identity as a mental illness, and then they changed their tune on this particular book, and so a couple workers quit.
Which
in
is
protest.
so weird, because how much is this book going to
it's weird.
make them slash?
And obviously, I don't
how
know.
much is it going to cause irreparable damage to their brand, Amazon's brand.
Right. And I don't know who makes the call. I don't know if there's a board or if it's just one person.
Oh,
right?
it was probably Bezos in space. When he was up there, they were like, hey, we need you to...
yeah, we need to make a call here. Yeah. Anyway, kind of an interesting one. Once again, that's called Irreversible Damage, the Transgender Craze Seducing Our Daughters. Yeah, nice, nice
I'm
title.
so burnt out on these people.
I know.
Did you... So in Orem, the city kind of close to us down south, the public library, the owner, I don't know, what do you call it? The manager of the
librarian.
Sure. she has been trying to be more inclusive. I guess Orem is doing a whole push to be more inclusive and everything.
Okay.
So she put up a Pride book display, and of course it didn't fly with everyone. One of the city council members pitched a fit, and he said, well, I don't see any displays and books for Flag Day and Father's Day. And I was like,
You're such an asshole.
are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious, dude?
Yeah.
Go yourself.
Right.
Go find something better to do.
Right. No, they don't. They're bigoted.
Orem, there it is. Orem city council member outraged over library's Pride display. Outraged. I just it's like they do it to get back at the liberal community.
Right.
It's like
in the process
right.
hurting
right.
people.
Right.
Yeah.
He's an old man.
Of course.
I can't wait for that version.
All right, this story is interesting.
Yeah.
Let me put this guy up on the screen. Foul-mouthed bandit bank robbery cases in Oregon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is off the security camera. This picture here. Okay.
Okay.
This next tab is a picture of a man they suspected of the crime.
Okay.
The police. Okay. So just initial reaction here. Picture. Mugshot.
Yeah, it's a mugshot.
Okay. What in your opinion, is that the same person?
Well, no.
So here's what the
I
Oregon.
mean, I've read the.
Oh, this isn't even working for you. You can't even see. I'm sorry. There you go.
Oh, I've pulled it up here. You put it on the.
Oh, that's right. So I was showing this of the mugshots here compared to this shot.
Well, there's one.
I know. Just wait.
Okay.
Because this story is pretty bad.
Right.
Basically, if I'll put this on TikTok, but this man in the security photos, a black man with a thin mustache, glasses, and a hat. The mugshot is a black man with a 5 o'clock shadow and tattoos on his face. The Oregon Police Department wanted to do a photo lineup with people, with victims of the bank robberies that were
I've
there.
always wondered, when they do the photo lineup, are the other people just
random people? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens if she points to one of them? Do they go to jail?
No, no. It has to be the one they suspected.
Ah.
But here, I'm going to scroll to the right. They photoshopped his tattoos off his face.
They did a pretty poor job of it too.
And so there's the original or the security cam. Here's the mugshot. Here's what they showed the photo lineup. And I believe one witness identified this man.
The one with the tattoos?
The one with the tattoos, because they photoshopped the tattoos off the face. By the way, there was no witness account of a man with tattoos. Okay?
Huh.
It turns out that they do this all the time. And I'm very, very confused about it. Like the guy who says it, forensic criminalist Mark Weber, testified at court. I basically painted over the tattoos, almost like applying electronic makeup. The whole idea was to make Mr. Allen blend in, so his photo wouldn't stand out. These procedures were prudent. They were appropriate. They're not even arguing that they didn't do it. They're arguing that, yeah, we did it, and I'd do it again. I'll Photoshop a guy to make him look like whoever I want him to look like, so he doesn't stand out in a lineup. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like
that is strange. It does seem like an Oregonian thing to do.
It's hard to.
It's kind of more of a liberal sort of thing, because they're saying, well, he's black, but he's got all these tattoos. He's easily,
Right.
recognizable. So we're going to try to make him blend in. I mean, that seems like a weird. If you're trying to figure out who actually did it, why would you do that?
Why would you do that, right? And his attorney said it's hard to fathom any photo array conduct that is more suggestive than altering a source photograph for the sole purpose of making the investigation target look more like the perpetrator, which is exactly what they're doing. They're like, we got this guy, we don't like him for whatever reason, right? And we think he did it, or we just want him to go to jail. So why don't we just make him look as close to the security cam as we can and see if a witness can identify him. So one witness did. Other witness said she couldn't, I believe, like out of the photo array, which is right here. She couldn't identify any of these guys. But isn't the he didn't have any tattoos thing like kind of a big deal? Unless your assumption is that he put makeup over his tattoos to rob the bank. Like, it's really weird. That's not what they're alleging, though.
Right.
They're saying, yeah, he has tattoos. We covered him up so that he looks more like the perpetrator. Like, well, what else can you do? Can you move his eyes closer together? Can you move his mouth down?
Yeah, you can.
Right?
It's really easy.
I know. It's really easy. And I actually studied these pictures closely on a couple different websites. This was the best one to see if they did anything else physically.
I'm not sure why the other one looks so grainy on the right there.
This is the photoshopped one.
Yeah, I know,
So
but I don't know.
He purposely made it look shittier so he could take out he put in all these shadows over here to get rid of this tattoo.
Well, you wouldn't really need to do
He used like a blur or a blend right here with
No, I
almost looks
mean-
like a white guy's skin.
No, what you do, I do it all the time at work.
Just a retouch.
Because I take a lot of badge photos, and some people need help.
Yeah,
and
you can retouch or clone.
Yeah, and that's...
But I think I read this and was mortified. Like, that's terrifying to me. If they can remove tattoos, then why wouldn't they move someone's ears down or put earrings on a guy who said they had earrings? Or like where does it stop? So
I see what you're saying. That is a problem.
I mean, this guy is facing charges of felony bank robbery because of this.
Right.
Like,
what was it? It is him there, right? Or is they?
No, that's not him. He's claiming innocence.
Oh.
And his lawyer's saying it's not him. I mean, this is not the same guy.
It
Just
doesn't.
subjectively looking at this bank camera, security cam, compared to the mugshot, this one, even without the tattoos, it doesn't look like him. You know what I mean?
No,
It doesn't look like him at all.
I would need,
But either way, where can the technology stop in terms of editing photos?
Right.
Anyway,
I don't like that. That's
it's off-putting, right?
Cops got to stop doing this stuff, man. They just keep
And-
painting themselves into these corners.
I don't have a news story for this one, but in some cities like Chicago, Detroit, L.A., cities have technology that can hear gunshots and dispatch police to them. Okay, I think it's called ShotSpotter. I think.
Cool
name. But what's happening is the cops are going back to ShotSpotter and saying, "We need you to say there was a gunshot here." Like, there was one story, I don't have it up right now, where we fired 4 shots at the suspect.
Mm-hmm.
He fired at us. We need you to find that gunshot for court.
Oh.
And for some fucking reason, ShotSpotter does it. They fabricate a gunshot.
Huh.
And they're getting caught now.
Oh, good.
But why? Why? I don't understand.
I don't know. That's, man. It makes it hard every day to.
It's harder. Like, we need Riley back here, man, to balance me out, because there's been a lot of stuff lately between this cop leaving this old lady. And them
Look, you don't know. All right,
a photo.
you miss a lot of that story, so you have no idea what happened.
It was minutes. I had time to
a lot
get
can
up the
happen
hill
in minutes.
and order food.
I've been to the
drive
Wendy's
back.
drive-through. It takes more than minutes, especially at that time
Not
of night.
when we went. It was the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
I
take a
don't
break.
know. Oh yeah,
What do you
jeez.
think?
It's like 12 o'clock, isn't it? Holy
It's-
crap.
yeah, it's late.
All right. When we come back, oh, I gotta hit the music button here. We'll have some quick random headlines. I don't think they're that interesting.
They're random.
Yeah. And then that'll probably be it. Oh, I kind of want to throw another hole in your favorite movie. Tomorrow
My
War.
favorite movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All that, and that's it when we come back.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Welcome back.
Oops.
I realized we did a lot of visuals.
Yeah.
We'll try and
Sorry.
I'll burn through this on TikTok or on to put them on TikTok.
Yeah.
With your help. Maybe.
Yeah.
I got some time now. I'm on paternity.
It's
leave.
true. Yeah. Yeah. F you.
So I'll put some stuff on TikTok. So at the Arctic Pod, TikTok.
We need a million hits. So we
4
need
million.
to get to 10,000 followers.
4 million is our new goal.
And
Yeah.
our followers are like the stock market. They go up and down every day. It's kind of weird.
It's weird. I think people are getting kicked off.
Is that what it is?
Probably.
The bots or something?
Yeah, they follow us and they
You know,
get
some
kicked off
people
for-
pay to get followers, and I'm just proud to say that all of our views and follows
Organic.
are organic,
Yep.
natural, unlubricated,
untainted,
fresh, farm to table.
Yeah, that was not the case when I was running the band's MySpace page.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, everyone did that.
Totally had bots running that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was.
But it helped the algorithm.
But that was
On
before.
MySpace.
That was before they figured that out.
Right.
Now they know and they can pick it out pretty easily.
Right.
You know, what the
Whoa,
hell
dude.
was that?
Titanic.
Something's playing porn.
It's just a safe.
It's a commercial for.
No.
It's freaking Fox News. I gotta stop using them every time. All right, close the
I'm gonna-
freaking ad.
I gotta add you to my YouTube family so you don't have
Yeah.
ads.
Well, this is just Fox News' website because
No.
sometimes their odd news is actually decent.
That's true. They do have some good.
Which is this story? a teenage driver in Massachusetts last week swerved to avoid hitting a squirrel. And unfortunately, when he swerved, he went off the road and crashed into an historic home built by ancestors of President Abraham Lincoln.
Wait a second.
It's kind of a dumb story, really. It's kind of reaching when you think about it. Because it's not Abe's house. It was an ancestor of Abe Lincoln,
Right,
which could have been like...
Lincoln lived in Illinois, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure that he was, East Coast and...
well, they all were.
When he was prez.
So his ancestors built this home.
Yeah, they could have been like the Pilgrims or something.
It definitely looks like a Mayflower-style home.
Very colonial.
Yeah, it doesn't look that old, man.
Whatever. That's definitely built in like the 60s or 50s or something.
Right. He did
ram right into it. That's why you want drywall, not this what's it called? Oh man, have you ever worked on a super old house?
Oh, lath and plaster.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's annoying.
Yeah, asbestos.
It's terrible. I ripped a ton of it out at my mom's house.
It's so heavy because it's like 4 inches thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gross. Anyway,
don't
Don't
swerve for a squirrel.
I don't want to kill a squirrel, man.
But I mean,
I'm not worried about Abe's house.
You gotta. There's a good time to swerve and a bad time to swerve.
The good time to swerve is when you're about to hit a giant moose.
Right. Or a tree or Abe Lincoln's house. Yeah, that's when you swerve.
This isn't his house. This is such a non-story now that I'm looking at it.
This wouldn't be anything if they said, teenage boy killed squirrel when he swerved to miss Abe Lincoln's house.
Abe Lincoln's ancestor's
house. Excuse me.
It's kind of it's
That's okay.
So let's driver swerves to miss squirrel. He drives into a house that John F. Kennedy's uncle's brother's son lived in once for a summer.
Right. I love how they use a stock photo of a squirrel there too, just to start the story.
I would have to swerve for that guy. Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. Man with coronavirus in Indonesia. He disguised himself as his wife to try to get on a plane.
Yes.
The suspect bought the plane ticket with his wife's name and brought the identity card, the PCR test result, and the vaccination card with his wife's name.
I see a picture. They don't even have a picture of it. Dang it.
Well, I don't know if that's the actual guy or not.
Well, I'm on Al Jazeera, and I don't see any picture.
Oh, I'm on Huff. This can't be the picture because it doesn't look like unless I don't know.
Yeah.
He bought the plane ticket with. Yeah, I already said that. Let's see. All documents are under his wife's name. Said after arresting the man, he was only identified by his initials. He was positive. He's self-isolating. Anyway,
he's only known by his initials.
He's kind of dumb.
Why did?
I want to know why his wife has been vaccinated.
Yeah.
And everything, and he's holding out.
Wouldn't it have been easier just to forge a vaccination card?
Wouldn't it have been easier to just get a vaccine?
Yes, it would have. Touche. Touche.
I mean, I don't know. Are they scarce? I know some countries don't have as many as we do, but
also touche. Touche to yourself.
I don't know about Indonesia though.
That's true.
Does sound like. Where is Indonesia? It's in.
Wait. I don't know if she was vaccinated. It just says he used her ID card and negative COVID test.
Oh, this says. But HuffPost said that he used a.
Wait a sec. Oh man, he almost got away with it. Did you read this whole thing?
Oh, he was wearing a face covering.
A flight attendant saw the man change clothes before leaving the aircraft. He landed and changed.
Serious?
He was there, man. You're 2 steps
away. He was
away.
wearing a hijab.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that makes this a lot more interesting. That happened in an episode of The Cleveland Show.
Man. Why are you coming here? Oh, vacation. Vacation.
Vacation.
So
I need to go.
The lesson is that you can do this. Just don't change on the plane.
Wait, so if you are wearing a hijab,
Hijab.
Yeah.
Hijab.
What does your driver's license or identification photo look like?
That's a really good question. I don't know. Let's see.
It would be hilarious if it was with the hijab.
I think it might have to, man. Like
no, there's no way.
They can't take them off.
Ever?
It's a theocracy. Like, let's see. Do women wear hijabs in ID photos? Let's see. Rules about wearing Islamic. Was this for? Okay, I want to find. I don't want American rules. I want.
I'm sure they make you
They
wear
make you
it.
take
or
it
take
off.
it off in
Yeah.
America and in France. They're really
the
icky
French
about it.
assholes. In Indonesia.
That's too specific of a Google. Google's just like, I don't know, man.
I'm feeling lucky.
Like, why do you want to know this, Google?
Yeah. Are they allowed to drive there?
I don't know. Probably not.
Indonesia photo ID woman.
Okay,
here's one. What is she? Nope, she's got her face
She's
showing.
got everything but the face covering.
Yeah. I don't know, but nevertheless, how did this guy pull it off? Did he not open his?
Yeah, if it was an international flight, I don't know. Because here they make you take your mask off.
Right. Dude, they make me take my sunglasses off when I go to Lagoon.
Really?
With my season passport.
Are you serious?
Yes. They scan it. They look at the photo, hold it up next to my face, and say, "Will you take your sunglasses off?" I'm like, "Come on." All right, yeah, son. I'll show you. I'll show you my eyes, because I borrowed this season pass from my brother.
Oh. Okay, Indonesia. Pretty much all Muslim countries allow for women to drive.
That's not true.
I think most of them do. There's just a few holdouts.
All right, that's true.
Saudi Arabia does now.
Aren't they like the most? I don't know. It's true. I thought they were like the most liberal.
Let's see. One city in the area banned women from straddling motorbikes because it will provoke the male driver.
Could. It could. It certainly could. There's an OnlyFans for that. So you got to side saddle it if you're taking a motorcycle taxi?
In Kabul, Afghanistan, you find... I'm sorry, I just stumbled upon the worst places for women to drive. That's about the only place that women can drive is Kabul.
In the city.
And Afghanistan apparently isn't a great place to be a woman, period.
No. Well, it's still controlled by the
Taliban. But we won that war. What are you talking about?
Sure. I mean, how you define one.
Did you hear Biden's announcement that we're pulling out of Iraq?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I thought we did that already.
And we're not. We're actually
not even pulling.
We're not even pulling out. We're just.
The roles are gonna change.
We're just gonna no longer have combat operations.
Which, I don't know.
What means?
I swear.
I guess that means
every
we're just
time
gonna
they
be
do
like
this,
purely defense. Like we're no longer
defense.
We're no longer gonna do any offense here.
I thought we were just training people. I don't know. Anyway,
there's so much shit going on.
What were we talking about?
Next random headline.
Oh yeah, Connecticut. Connecticut student causes fervor by putting Hitler quote in yearbook. The 18-year-old suspect allegedly put a quote from the German dictator under the photo of a unsuspecting classmate.
First of all, how is this alleged? Either he did it or he didn't.
I don't know, man. They have to do that.
Another student was changed. I'm trying to find it here.
I'm on HuffPost again. The teen was a student at Glastonbury High School, where the quote appeared in May beneath a photo of a classmate. It read, "It is a quite special secret pleasure how the people around us fail to realize what is really happening to them." Huh.
And he said it was written by George Floyd. That's
Yeah,
what
the quote was attributed in the yearbook to George Floyd, but I guess Hitler said it. But
used it to reinforce his power of propaganda.
I mean, as far as
what a weird kid.
As far as Hitler quotes go, I mean,
What a weird kid.
Right?
Like, I'd be fucking weirded out, man. If I was like, yeah, dude, you can sign my yearbook.
he's obviously smart enough to break, because he, it said they hacked in or something.
Like, he signed my... Oh, wait. So he didn't sign it.
No,
he hacked in and typed it.
And had it printed in the yearbook.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's a quite special secret pleasure how the people all around us fail to realize what's really happening.
I mean, it's an apropos quote,
right?
For the situation, I guess. It's weird to attribute it to George Floyd. What a troll!
Yeah.
Just like a professional.
I
troll.
will be 100,000% honest with you. If I saw that, there's no way I'd attribute it to Hitler. I'd be like, oh, that's interesting.
No, and there's also no way I'd attribute it to George Floyd.
Right. Right.
Either way.
That doesn't sound like something.
That's true. I mean, like, yeah, if it showed up in a trivia game, like, who said this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Hitler.
No.
It makes sense.
Right.
It fits with his propaganda, but I
Right.
wouldn't, yeah.
Huh.
I'd probably be more like, I'd probably put like,
FDR?
Like Trump's.
Yeah.
Trump's press secretary.
Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah, like, it's amazing that the people still buy this shit.
Oh, dude, you got to watch that documentary I was talking about. FDR. So, did you know
the Christianity one?
No. The Titans of Built America.
Yeah.
So Henry Ford and DuPont essentially got FDR elected, and he instantly turned on them.
Really?
Yeah. Like bad too.
Love it.
He only put DuPont out of business. It
Dude.
was crazy. But then he had to come back groveling to them to help with the war effort.
Right.
It's crazy. You gotta
That's
watch
awesome.
it. Yeah.
I've said if I was a politician, I would do that.
Yeah.
I would take money, and I'd be like, and then they'd ask for something and bring up the money, and be like, what money?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? You guys didn't give me any money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Real quick before we're done here, last time we had a rousing conversation about the Christopher Pratt movie.
You hadn't even watched it yet.
I have watched it now. I watched the whole
thing. But you were
thing.
arguing with me about it.
You're right. But everything I was arguing about still stands.
How entertained were you? Are you not entertained?
Enough, but I will say so. I had a problem with the first movie because there's two movies in this thing.
It's true.
The second half of the movie I thought followed timeline and everything rules fine.
Do you remember that when I was telling you that the movie could have ended?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, it could have just ended.
Absolutely.
They went and they went.
I was shocked that it kept going.
So was I.
Like, oh really? There's more. Okay.
Yeah.
All
It was like a faux non-Hollywood ending.
Right.
And then it turned into a Hollywood ending.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But here is I've punched a lot more holes in this.
Okay.
Because again, now if you haven't seen this or know what it's about, the premise is that in the future, was it 33 years in the future or something?
Like that.
Aliens attack without warning
in like crazy numbers.
In crazy numbers, and start essentially wiping out the human race.
Right.
There's only 500,000 people left on the planet.
Right.
And because of this, they decide to go back in time and recruit people because apparently
the only technology they have is to move back and forth 30 years on a moving timeline.
Right.
Right.
So they go, and I have a complete issue with going back in time to fix the future. You go back in time, going forward in time to fix the future. What you do is go back in time and prepare for the future. Or
he kind of did.
Yeah, at the end. That's when I said it started to make sense. But if that would have been the premise,
you have to
where they did not need to go to the future.
You have to
at all.
You're right, but he wouldn't have known.
No, that's true.
He wouldn't have known what he knew.
That's all.
There's
all
things
valid.
we know.
That's all valid. But frankly, they could have probably figured it out.
Here's what
had she come back in time and said, "Here's the antidote to kill them all," and
but she needed his help.
You're right.
So here's why I'm okay with it.
If that were the premise, if it's like I need to go back in time to bring my dad forward so he can help me figure this out because I'm too stupid, then that would probably be okay. But the whole bringing soldiers from the past to the future doesn't make any sense.
No, it does.
It doesn't.
It does. Because what they did is they took time travel and they said, these are the rules in this world. In this world that we've created, in this story, this is the only way time travel works.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's what I like about it. Is
'Kay.
they confined it.
Right.
They said, no. It was me hitting this thing, sorry. They said, no, we're not going to allow a universal time travel theory that could be argued. We're going to condense it down to you can only travel back and forth on a moving timeline that's 30 years apart.
So here is the biggest hole I will punch in it. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, how this starts taking place is
let's give you a spoiler.
They're watching a soccer match.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Don't
Don't listen further, okay? We're just going to talk
the
about
earth starts shaking and all these clouds come and lights, and all of a sudden these people just start walking onto the field from the future.
Right.
They've traveled back.
Yeah.
Okay? And they've told us all this information.
Right.
Now, according to them, you have to be dead before you can go into the future. That makes sense enough for me.
Yeah,
okay.
Like, all the people who are going into the future are either dead before that future,
right,
or haven't been born. Was it haven't been born yet?
So yeah,
there's another.
So they got that kind of covered, but one slight hole is what about all the people that were going to have or were kids? Let's say that Chris Pratt and his lover hadn't had their baby yet. I mean, they already did, right? Let's say that they hadn't. The future people come, and then they have her after. But then Chris Pratt goes into the future. Or he goes into the future and doesn't come back before they have the baby. Then his daughter doesn't exist when he goes forward.
Yeah, I'm not following
Hold
why
on,
that's a hole.
I said it wrong. Okay. So let's say they haven't had their daughter.
Okay.
They're planning. Their future looks bright. They're in the next 3 years they're going to have their daughter, but the people from the future come back, and Chris Pratt goes forward, and then he dies. Let's say.
Okay.
And his daughter was the one that was going to fix everything.
Right.
She doesn't exist anymore.
Right, because she never was.
Right, because he went to the future and died before they had the baby.
Right.
So my question is, what about all the people that were in that stadium that were like, we're not going to have kids anymore. We're done.
Or that didn't because they died?
It changes everything.
Well, maybe that's why they were down to
That's
500,000.
That's why you can't go to the past and change the future, because as soon as you know what's happening in the future, you've altered, or as soon as the past knows what's happening in the future, you've altered the future. So when you go back, there's going to be a couple in the stadium. They're like, well, fuck that. I'm not bringing kids into this world. And then all those soldiers start disappearing.
Maybe that's why they're down to 500,000. Just because it wasn't addressed doesn't mean it's a plot hole.
That's a hole.
It's not.
That's
it's
a
not.
time travel hole.
It could have been why the population of the Earth went from 8 billion to 500,000.
But it was at 500,000 when they came back in time the first time.
Yeah, but that already happened. It already happened to them.
When they came back, they told the people in the stadium there's only 500,000 people left. And then when they went back, there should have been even less, if not anybody.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Assuming that the timeline
is
influenced by what's happening.
You've altered the timeline because now these people are like, I'm not having kids. I'm moving away. I want to get off the planet.
Right.
That's why you can't go to the past.
But I mean, it's not really a
and then go to the future.
You're inventing a new storyline. It's not necessary. Like you're saying in this hypothetical world, this would happen, so I don't like what they wrote here. It's not really a plot hole. That's just more like you're
I don't know.
You're putting your own take on the
feels
story.
Holy to me.
Either that, or people were like, "No, we need to have kids so we can defeat these aliens." You could go either way. Right? I could make the argument the other way, saying, "Oh shit, you guys are down to 500,000.
We better start humping."
Yeah, you could go either way, right?
Oh, I don't know, man.
I mean, you're adding another narrative. That's not a plot hole. That's just you not appreciating the story.
As far as time travel movies go, it's a bust.
I don't think so. I like that they put constraints on the time travel.
They did.
I like that they put in this hypothetical world, they said the technology is only this far.
I did go into it with more holes, and they did resolve some of those holes.
Yeah.
But I just, there's just some that
Which is what you have to do. If you're writing a movie, right? If you're writing a movie, that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. Because time travel is so disagreed upon and misunderstood. We can't agree on the premise of any of it. They said, fine, we're going to create a world then where the parameters are just limited by the science we have. So we found this black hole. We can only go back 30 years and forward 30 years on a moving timeline. As the rafts and the rivers analogy.
But what you do in the past doesn't change the future?
No, it can. It can. But I'm saying that narrative's not relevant to the story. It's not relevant to moving the plot along.
So what happened to those people?
You might make that decision to not have kids, but other people in the stadium, if we're gonna
that's true.
If we're gonna add this narrative,
I mean, that just changes everything completely. It could change it so drastically that one of those kids accidentally falls down a hole and discovers the spaceship in the ice.
Right. It's true. But
So,
you're just adding a narrative, though. We're learning a story about
you got to
one.
be careful with time travel.
We're listening. We're watching a story about one.
I want to know all the other other offshoots.
We can. All right. We can
We'll
do
do
spin-off movies.
Fan fiction for every other scenario.
For sure. And that's fine. That's fine. We can do that. We can say this couple decided to have 5 more kids than they would have, right? It's a butterfly effect. And because of that, they killed 500,000 more aliens than they would have. Like, sure.
Right.
It's not necessary to moving the plot along of that movie, though.
Right. As a movie, it was fine. As a scientific endeavor.
I don't think that was their goal, but sure. I mean, that's the point. The movie is to entertain you.
It was all right.
But
Chris Pratt was okay.
But as always, I'll put my disclaimer in that I am not a movie critic. I pretty much like any movie.
I like the funny. He's in all those. He's in Veep. What's his name?
I have no idea. The guy from Arrested Development too?
No, he's just in Veep. He's the suck up.
Yeah, he's
I feel like
he's Buster Bluth. The suck up.
Buster Bluth is not in Tomorrow War.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm saying that I like the guy, his buddy in Tomorrow War, the math guy.
Okay, but you said I like the guy who's in Veep.
He's in Veep as well as Tomorrow War.
You know what?
And he's been a lot of voices
lately.
lately.
It's been 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
That's true.
I didn't know what you were talking about. I think you had an own stream of consciousness that wasn't.
I pulled in the driveway and said Spencer was there.
Dude, you got to make that a shirt. We got to figure out how to make that a shirt. That'd be great. Anyway, is that it?
Yeah, that's all.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Find us at the Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, most importantly, TikTok. Go to thearcticpodcast.com where you can stream every
start
episode
doing
for
reels.
free. Reels. We should do it live at some point.
Yeah.
Once we get to 10,000, maybe.
Yeah.
So for the Arctic Podcast, episode 115, I'm Brian.
I am Spencer. We'll see you next time.